When you're dealing with a psychopath, narcissist, when you're dealing with a deranged sociopath, when you're dealing with a really, truly wicked, evil person, even after you break up with them, even after they dump you, that's when your nightmare truly begins. A nightmare that feels so unfair because they pick up and move on, rinse and repeat with new people. Every relationship has its nuance, every relationship has its own thing, everybody's different. But when you're dealing with a narcissist, when you're dealing with a psychopath, like these toxic people that we cover here on this channel, you'll find that most of us share the same stories, okay? Only the names and the faces have changed. If you've truly been with a psychopath, if you've truly been with a malignant narcissist, even after the relationship ends, even after you draw the courage to leave, oftentimes that's when things really get bad. Now, I don't want to scare you guys. I don't want to scare you guys into thinking that you might as well stay in the toxic, abusive relationship. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's always the darkest before the dawn or something like that. But here's the thing. It has to get really bad before it gets really good. Why? Because you're dealing with a disordered individual. This is not someone that you can have an amicable breakup. This is not someone that you can, even after a divorce, you feel safe. I know a lot of people. I've met a lot of people in my journey that have gotten a divorce and they're still friends with the spouse. And I don't mean friends with benefits or anything toxic like that. I'm talking about they share custody of the kids. And not everyone that is splitting custody, not every divorce is ugly. That's not the case at all. I know that's the stigma, but that's not the case at all. And some people just want to make sure that their kids live a happy and joyous life. So they're in good terms with their ex. And sometimes they invite the ex over to the house and they're remarried already. And the ex is married as well. I know this personally. I've seen this before in my family. Okay, I've seen this with close friends, and I used to be taken. I was like, "Are you guys crazy? Are you're still in contact?" But I digress. Let's talk about what happens when you're dealing with someone that's pure evil, like a sociopath, like a psychopath, like a malignant narcissist. You leave the relationship. You file for divorce. You get out. But these people are so deranged that they fixate on making your life a living hell after you get out. They want to torture you. They want to torment you. They get narcissistic supply by stalking you. They get narcissistic supply by crank calling you. Remember that? They get narcissistic supply by hoovering. Hoovering, knowing that they have no intentions of changing and rekindling. No, they just do it for fun. They do it for sport. They're bored. And if they see that you get all untangled and you go nuts over the situation and you're spazzing out, they get a kick out of that. That's why they do it. Oftentimes they do it and they're already in a relationship with someone else, with the new supply. And if the new supply were to find out that they're coming along, right, showing up at your place, telling you all these lies that they love you and that they miss you and they want to work things out, that's cheating. They're cheating on the new supply already. They don't have to jump in bed with you. Just the fact that they're trying to get their ex back while they're in a relationship with somebody, that's cheating. That should serve as another layer of validation, of evidence that you did the right thing by leaving the relationship, by leaving the narcissist. And that may not sound like such a bad thing, but believe me, when you're dating a narcissist and a psychopath and you get out of that, the trauma that you experience and you carry with you, okay, you become so hypervigilant, you become so anxious about the smallest little thing. So the ex showing up and putting on these crocodile tears and telling you that they love you and that they miss you and they're in therapy and they're gonna get better and they're gonna change and this and the other. Meanwhile, they're dating someone else. You know they're in another relationship. You're listening to that. That is re-triggering you. That is re-traumatizing you. That's what that's doing. You get that? That's what that's doing. As an outsider, I can see that situation and I can laugh and I can point But as the victim, that is another trigger. That is another reminder that this person cheated on you. That is a reminder that they have not changed, even though they're promising to change. They have not changed. But things do get bad. But for a short period of time. You might run into them and you're not sure if they're stalking you, you're not sure if they're following you around, or if it's pure coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to happen for a reason, but you believe what you want to. Sometimes you need to run into them to see how strong you've become, to test if you're going to remain no contact, or are you going to fall apart at the sight of your narcissist ex? Are you going to spaz out like a crazy person if you see them with a new supply? Are you going to go run and scream and call them all sorts of names and accuse them of cheating and tell the new supply that they're cheaters or they're psychopaths or they're narcissists? Because let me tell you, the new supply has already been brainwashed that you're the enemy. The new supply is 1000% convinced that you're the narcissist, that you're the psychopath, that you're the deranged monster. And if you do that, you're basically walking into the trap that the narcissist set for you. They want you to do that. They're gonna be like, see how my ex is crazy? I told you my ex was crazy. Like, look at them. They're spazzing out. They're a narcissist. Call the cops. That's what they want you to do. That doesn't sound like heaven to me, but I can promise you, heaven is on the other side of that dark place that you've become so conditioned to dwell in. It is on the other side. Are you ready for it? Do you want it? I used to think things were never going to get better. I used to think the sun was never going to shine, and even if it did, I didn't even notice it was shining because all I would see was darkness. Those days after the discard, those days are truly some of the worst days of my life. They truly were. And the psychopath was already gone. They were gone. They were blocked. I was not peeking at their social media. I knew better. That's one thing I can tell you. I will not peek. Because I just know. I know how the internet works and the psychology behind it. And you post something, it's there. It's posted. But the way your brain perceives it, it's like an attack. And what do I mean by post? They'll post a picture with a new supply in the same exact restaurant that they took you to when they proposed, or something like that. They'll purposely do that. See, someone that has any type of humanity, right? Humility, empathy, would not do that. They're not going to post a picture hoping their ex sees it at a place that has sentimental value. But that's what a narcissist will do, because a narcissist still wants to destroy you even when you're long gone, even when they're long gone. They want to continue playing that game. And if they have a mental disorder on top of their personality disorder, they don't know what no means. They don't know when to stop. And that's when I say that's when you got to get law enforcement involved. If they're harassing and stalking you and doing all sorts of illegal things to you to try to get your attention or to try to hurt you, you cannot be afraid of that. So just heed my words. Things do get better, but they're going to get a little worse depending on the severity of your abuser's personality. Okay? You have to leave. At the end of the day, that's a non-negotiable. You have to leave. But you may have to fight back. You may have to go to war. You may have to do that. This is not for everybody. But you know who I'm talking about if this is resonating with you. Okay? If this is resonating with you, because that's exactly what you're going through, yeah. It's like you're going to war. But if you don't do it, what's the alternative? Staying in that prison that you were in, where you were basically being destroyed every single day and there was no end in sight? I don't think so. You gotta go. You gotta go. So if you have already ended the marriage or ended the relationship, and right now you're going through extreme bouts of trauma, you feel that trauma bond, you feel that urge and that desire to reach out to them. They're calling you, faking tears, making promises, all the while they're already in another relationship. If that's what you're going through, let me tell you that once you do the work to heal from this and to rebuild your life and move forward, all those things are not going to trigger you anymore. All those things are going to be funny. You're going to look at that person like, wow, what a pathetic loser. All right, guys, so if you got some value from this clip and would like to see some more stuff, click right here. And if you would like to see the entire video, click right here.